YouTube. My name is Ty with the Dividend Stock King with another video. And today's title: Investing should change your behavior, your spending behavior, the way you look at money. Now, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is my personal opinion. If you're investing in a brokerage account or investment or retirement, the way you view money should change. Okay, this is what I'm getting right now as pending. We talk about over $1,200 right here in dividends. $1,200 in dividends. This took me. I had no margin, right? No margin. I've been investing for this year be 6 years, well 5 years since COVID happened. 5 years. I'm investing. I was investing in dividend-paying stocks companies. Yield Max came out. I started doing Yield Max. So investing back then, while I was buying Main Street Capital, people know or know our channel from back then, AT&T, ARR. I was buying these REITs, and I loved it. When I first got my first dividends, I didn't know what dividend was until I was in Acorns. Because Acorns, you get a dividend every quarter. I had no clue what a dividend was until I got into Acorn. I said, what's a dividend? And once I looked it up, and I saw that they pay you for holding the stock, I said, what? So I opened a Robinhood account to buy dividend stocks. And when I got my first few dividends from DX and ARR, wow, this thing is pretty cool. And if you look at my earlier videos, my goal was just to make $500 a month. That was my ultimate goal. My goal was to make $500 a month because that pretty much would pay my light bill, my water bill, my cell phone, internet. My internet's cheap, like $60 a month. Water bills like every other month, but you divide that in half. It's like 180 every other month, so that's $80 a month. So those two bills like 160, 170. Our cell phones like 105. So $500 a month will pay those four bills. I said, well, if I can at least do that, if I can at least reach $500 a month back then before UMass came out, if I lost my job or I get sick or I kick out back then, I was working hourly. I was working, I wasn't working hourly. I just started working at in the office part of my company. But I came from the warehouse where I was hourly. So my thing is, I was like, man, if I couldn't work or if I couldn't get or my paycheck is half what it is, at least I have those household bills covered. And that was the goal. So it changed my behavior. It changed the things that I buy. I didn't go out there and buy all the expensive video games. I'm a bowler. I don't go out there and buy all the high-end new bowling balls like I used to when I was younger. Because they're expensive. They are $220, plus you gotta get them drilled and plugged. That you talk about $250, $260 for a bowling ball, and by next year or 2 years, that ball will be half price or be almost discontinued, and they're giving it to a sale. So it changed the way I saw money. It changed the way I look at a job. I look at a job now is they pay me income, my active income. I take that money, I pay my bills, I pay down bad debt, but also invest in passive income. So just in case I lose that job, or just in case something goes south with the job, I got money coming in without that job. It changed the way I look at money. Because also what helped me while I was in the warehouse pulling orders, we had a really strict tardy policy, and we're on a point system. So if you're in the negative, this is backwards. If you're in the negative 6 or 5 points, you're great, right? If you're calling late, say you had negative 4 points. If you had negative 4 points and call in 4 times, you'd be at 0. You're good. You're still okay. When you get to +6, it's when you're bad. +6 is when they fire you. So if you're -2, you call in twice, you're at 0, right? If you call in another, or if you call in 6 times and you get points back every 30 days. But if you call in 6 times, you're +6, you be fired. If you take a half day, which is you leave at lunchtime, it's a half a point. If you leave half on a Monday and leave half on a Tuesday, that's a full point. If you come in late, a minute late is a half a point. So we was on a really strict tardy and firing policy. But I've seen so many people get fired for points. They have kids, they couldn't make it to work, the car wouldn't work right. They'd be lenient on some things. But I see a lot of people get fired from my job. While I was in the warehouse, people get laid off, we lost business. And they didn't have anything for what they told me. They didn't have anything as a backup plan when they got laid off. They didn't. They had a part-time job, but they had nothing lined up. Most of them had that one job and that's it. They had nothing lined up after that. So that really put me in a perpetual mode to invest. I didn't want to be one of those people who get laid off from a job and they're struggling. They're floundering. They had nothing coming in. So it changed my behavior when I see yield max. It changed my behavior of how I spend money. I'm not saying buy things you want and need. I'm not saying that. But some things you may have to sacrifice to get an income, right? You're going to have to sacrifice some money. You're going to have to sacrifice things you want to better yourself today or to have money in the future. So it should change your behavior. Going out to eat or blowing money on dumb stuff. Spending $400, $300 on shoes. Buying $100 shirts, $200 pants. I would never do that. At this point, I'd rather buy me a $20 shirt and take $80 and put it into UOTY and get paid every week. Or put in Coney, or put in Misty. My mindset has totally changed. And your mindset should change as well. Your mindset should change from a consumer to a producer. And I say producer is as you put your money, or not producer, into buying assets. You should be buying assets. And what you should do is buying up assets where when the assets pay you, use that money. This is what rich people do. They don't have an active income, right? They have assets that produce income and they use that money. So that's your mindset should slowly change over time. Because once you start getting your first $10 or $20, you're like, man, if I get this to $100 a month, that can pay my phone bill. That could pay a bill. Like that's crazy. That could knock it down, and that will leave pressure on my back. If I get this thing to like the $500 a month, I mean, that could pay 3 bills. That pay my power and my light bill every month. I don't have a bill no more. So that's the behavior change we all should be having while investing in a brokerage account in these high yield funds. You should be, again, I'm not saying buy things you want to need, but I don't think you should throw $3,000-$4,000 into a rims for your car. I don't think putting rims in your car, spending $4,000 on that, on a liability that will lose you money. You can't sell it for $4,000. You bought $4,000 used. You should put that money into UOTY. Put that money into Coney. Put that money into Misty. Put that money into YMAX, and let YMAX. Now, if you make a $4,000 a month in income, let the income dividends pay for your rims because you're gonna get paid next month. That's what I'm saying. Your mindset should change. I'm at a point now, I'm almost 40. I don't want rims in my car, but if I decide to get rims in my car, I'm not using my active income. I don't with my dividends, honestly. My dividends should go into paying off bad debt or reinvesting. That's it. Or I need money. My check was short. I need some money. That's all the 3 buckets my dividends go into. It's paying off debt, reinvesting, get more shares, and pulling some money out for me if I need it. I got a wife and 2 kids. I live by myself. I got a wife and 2 kids. Stuff comes up all the time. With only 2 baskets, I see myself doing that. So that's the end of the video. When you're investing, your behavior. Now, some people won't change. Some people see the money and blow it. That's on them. But your behavior should change. You want to get shares every week. You want to invest every week. When you get your paycheck and you pay your bills, you always want to set aside some money to invest. That's your mindset changing. I don't care you invest $10, $20, but in your budget, you should have investing because your mindset changed. Do you really need that $100 shirt? Do you really need this $300 thing? Do you really need it? Or you want it? Now, I'm not saying don't buy what you want, but your mindset should surely change. Should slowly change because you want to invest that money because you get paid in today's time in June 25th, 2025. There are so many funds that pay every week. There is no reason for you not to invest in one of these funds. And they have funds that pay every day of the week. If you want to get paid Monday and Wednesday, they got funds for that. If you want to get paid on Friday and Thursday, they got funds for that. If you get a paycheck Friday, you want to get paid Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they got ETFs paid those 3 days. You can pick and choose what day you want to get paid and get paid in today's time. So my time for Dividends.King. Thanks for watching.